Hello once again, grain traders. I'm meteorologist Sean Sublette for CropProphet, and it's time for the forecast of the forecast for this August 1st, 2025. Getting you ready for the weekend and what you're going to walk into on Monday with the holy grail of weather, commodities, grain forecasting. And by that, we mean we're going to give the probability that the ECMWF ensemble mean comes in warmer or cooler than normal when you come in on Monday morning. So it's Friday morning right now. This is the week 1, day 1 through 7 forecast of that forecast, meaning that these areas that are shown in orange and red have a higher probability of coming in warmer than normal on the model on Monday morning. The reverse is true. The bluer shades, higher probability that the market will come in, that the model will come in cooler than normal on Monday morning. And the gray shades actually showing a higher probability here, 40 to 50%, that it's going to come in near normal. So kind of breaking this down, we've got the cooler air that's coming into the nation's midsection. So we still have this 40, 50, 60% probability the model comes in cooler than normal for mostly the Wheat Belt and extending down to the Dakotas, but a lot of probabilities here, 40 to 50% likelihood for the central Corn Belt that it's going to be actually close to normal. And then this warmer than normal probability running 40, 50, some places 60% in the eastern Corn Belt, especially through Indiana and ultimately going into Iowa. And this one area here, just to draw your attention to, the higher probability of cooler than normal conditions across, let's say, the southern mid-Atlantic or the Carolinas and Georgia. Not so much that it's going to be cold, but it does look kind of cloudy and probably a little damp in that part of the country next week. Now into week 2, the forecast of the forecast shows a true absence of signal here regarding a probability of it being cooler than normal. We do have these larger areas of white which do not meet that threshold. It's under 40% likelihood one way or the other, but a broad area of 40 to 50% likelihood of warmer than normal in week 2, days 8 to 14 in the Corn Belt. And we see that signal also very similarly going back to the Rocky Mountains. With regard to precipitation, of course, we had a very wet spell across Iowa, northern Indiana, northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, more than 4 inches of rain in some of those locations. We don't see a really big signal of that continuing, but there is this probability, 40 to 50% likelihood through western Iowa, basically west of Des Moines, and extending into Dakotas and into the Wheat Belt, of the model coming in wetter than normal on Monday morning, and more of that absence of signal, less than 40% threshold one way or the other across most of the Corn Belt, and then this drier than normal signal showing up, 40% likelihood to 50% likelihood of the model coming in drier than normal for the mid-Atlantic and the interior Northeast. And another thing that the markets seem to be concerned about is a mid-August drying, not just with regard to the temperature we showed earlier, but you see a real absence of any signal here in the probability forecast for Monday next week with the models of anything showing up wetter than normal. Almost all the signal here, and it is pretty small, 40% to 50% likelihood the model coming in drier than normal through parts of the Dakotas and let's say down toward Lincoln, Nebraska, Council Bluffs, that kind of parts, those parts of Iowa. Otherwise, not a lot of strong signal one way or the other, but this does suggest, as why the models are, or why the market's a little concerned, of that drying and warming as we get closer to the middle of August. And don't forget to save the date. It is less than 2 weeks away now. The CropProphet August Grain Market Weather Webinar on Wednesday, August 13th at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. Go to the bit.ly link below, CP August Webinar, to sign up. Thanks to everybody who's joined us in June and July. We will do it again a week from this Wednesday. Again, August 13th, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. I'm meteorologist Sean Sublette for CropProphet, and we'll talk to you again on Monday.